Hello out there, and how's everybody doing? And welcome to the latest installment of The State of Joe. I'm your host, Joe Santiago. We are foolish to think now that Trump's out of office and the weather is getting nicer, and not to mention all of the things we've been through in the last year. People are thinking, come on, all the following arrows advancing to safe spots, all while trying to breathe through a mask, or more than one mask. It's like some sick apocalyptic Twilight Zone 80s Nickelodeon kids game show, where the winners receive his or her ultimate grand prize, the vaccine, with a $1,400 parting gift. CNN reported as of March 9th that there are 16 states that don't require face masks, including Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Texas. These states all have different mask mandates within the different counties and municipalities within a particular state, however. This patchwork kind of strategy and approach to mask wearing, in my opinion, and without the federal government stepping in and putting a stop to non-mask wearing and telling the American people, too bad, until we get a handle on this pandemic, you wear a mask. Like when President Biden was calling for the 100 days in the mask back when he was first elected. But then apparently the idea was forgotten about, which I think realistically that we should be in the mask a lot longer. I'd say another 200 or 300 days, judging by the way this virus mutates, as we have learned with the different types of mutant variants, such as the UK variant, the South African variant, and the Brazilian variant. It's no surprise with these states encouraging normal, casual social settings without masks and social distancing and not taking this biblical-like plague seriously. And with these huge venues like professional sports starting to let fans into arenas and stadiums, and with states relaxing COVID restrictions, and with bars and restaurants opening up more with higher crowd capacities allowed, I would say, as a result of the things mentioned, are the major reasons why we are seeing surges in COVID-19 cases. Why in God's name is the government allowing these states' lack of COVID-19 guidelines to create a national health risk for the citizens who are abiding to the pandemic social rules and edict? There were recent photos released of a very crowded Disneyland in California, with tons of people walking through the crowds with not a mask in sight. It's disgusting, okay? It is giant crowds like this that are breeding grounds for infections. I think it's about time, if these vaccines are going to really completely stamp this virus out effectively, is And I'm sorry to the naysayers, but along with a federal countrywide mask mandate, which by the way they're relaxing things in this current administration and the CDC and everybody's starting to pull back on rules and stuff. So, but if they did do went back 180 and realized that this is, pretty bad, and there's a bunch of people that aren't getting vaccinated and whatnot, and they should have a federal countrywide mask mandate, in my opinion. And here's the other thing I'm calling for. The other thing I'm calling for is a federal countrywide vaccination mandate. It is the only way to fully eradicate this. But we are at where we are at. I realize this may sound extreme with vaccinations being mandatory. I recently got my first shot, and I just feel with these vaccines, breakthroughs that have come about with these vaccines and whatnot, out of necessity of combating this enemy, the COVID-19 virus. And I think this new understanding of how our bodies work and how to fight diseases and viruses into the future. This is truly a quantum leap for man, and setting us on a path of evolution and advancements abound. A lot of experts agree that part of the new normal will include an increased need for vaccine booster shots. That, according to the Boston Herald on April 24th, Dr. Todd Eilerin, Director of Infectious Diseases at South Shore Health, said, quote, he doesn't think SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, will ever be completely eradicated, and people therefore may need booster shots over time as variants inevitably emerge, end quote. If there's one thing the COVID-19 crisis has taught me personally, is that the government obviously has an overabundance of cash that they must have just been stockpiling away in a big Uncle Scrooge McDuck style money bin. Just swimming around in that money bin. Somewhere under the U.S. Treasury, most likely. I'm kidding anyway. And even in the midst of this crumbling COVID economy, the government can still afford to give all these stimulus checks to Americans and all the aid for rental evictions, mortgage foreclosures, and unemployment benefits, and help to businesses, and pass these giant spending bills, giving millions and billions of taxpayer dollars to foreign countries, all basically this is all revenue that would make a world of a difference in America if we just invest back into it. It's like expecting giant corporations to spend money on the business to improve infrastructure, for example, and make updates to the equipment in the company. They won't put money into anything unless the government regulates it, because corporations are cheap and greedy and so are governments when they have to be. The point is, right now, the government has astronomical amounts of money. And yes, I do realize that they have the ability to just print more money, which sounds simple enough, but it doesn't work that way. Our economy is luckily adapting and managing to thrive. Because the US dollar is still strong, thanks for now at least being backed by issuing what are called US Treasury securities, which allow the government to increase spending on various domestic programs or to make up shortfalls from tax revenue. They are essentially IOUs issued to foreign countries, taking on American debt. With not nearly as many Americans working and paying taxes, yet they spend like drunken sailors. It's almost as if they've been building up the revenue during the times of plenty and storing up for the times of want. They would do this with the grain that they had in Genesis chapter 4, chapter 41 in the Bible. In Egypt, under the direction of Joseph, one of the sons of Jacob, sold into slavery by his older brothers, as they were jealous because Jacob favored Joseph. And Joseph also had dreams where God would show him what would happen in the future through metaphors and different things that he would show him in dreams. God showed Joseph in a dream that there would be 7 years of abundance and production, or the fat years. And then there would be 7 years of famine or starvation, or the lean years. And hence there was enough grain to feed the starving people. But God blessed Joseph after he was sold into slavery. But sometimes what the devil meant for good, sometimes what the devil meant for evil, that is, God meant for good. As Joseph wound up going on to pretty much run all of Egypt as counselor to the Pharaoh, and he followed whatever advice that Joseph gave him. Now, the people going out and traveling, and states opening, and businesses also opening, and the word is that we're going to have a record-breaking tourist season this year on Cape Cod. Oh joy. With a lot of rentals, cottages, and hotel and motels already fully booked. And as for all these stupid people walking around with their big noses hanging over their masks, just so you know, you look like a dope. The whole point of a mask is to cover your whole face, both airways, your mouth and your nose. And you people who walk through the grocery store I work in with your mask down under your nose, you are an idiot. And you are putting you and others at risk, and are defeating the whole purpose of mask wearing. I feel this push or need to feel like we have to lax restrictions and masks and rules are premature. Just because we are making some progress with vaccines doesn't mean we should act as if we have eradicated this virus already, when we clearly have not come even close yet to doing so. Just look at the recently surfaced photos of the sea of people, at all these places, like I mentioned in Disneyland in California, with nobody wearing a mask. And I hope that day of fun with Mickey Mouse is worth the risk of dying for, because bad things happen to the foolish and the impatient. See, God gives you free will. He leaves all the big choices up to you. And along with the choice comes the manifestation of the result of the choice thereof. And with all choice, there is consequence. He knows that there are many tough choices you will have to make. And by having faith in God, you can overcome any fears in this great country and the world. And trust in the Lord Jesus, the healing power he has over diseases and sicknesses of all kinds, with an acceptance of his soul purification that cleanses the entire mind, body, and soul, and assurance of the protection of the Most High, him who sits on the throne, and him who sits at the right hand of God on heaven's mercy seat. And I'm sorry, in my opinion, us as a state in a country trying to open things while wearing less masks with tourist season coming up with the crowds, I think it's just not going to go well. But anyway, the other major problem that could play a role in the spread of COVID-19 is the illegal immigration crisis taking place right now at the U.S.-Mexican border. NBC News reported on March 26, 2021, a senior Border Patrol official told reporters that the U.S. Border Patrol has encountered an average of 5,000 undocumented immigrants per day over the past 30 days. The U.S. is on track to outpace the Trump administration's monthly record of border crossings. In May 2019, more than 144,000 undocumented immigrants or migrants were encountered by the Border Patrol, marking a 12-year high. March is likely to surpass that, reaching 150,000 crossings per month, meaning apprehensions plus crossings at legal ports of entry without paperwork. And anyone who's 17 years or younger are being called unaccompanied children. And there are some who claim that these immigrants crossing that are of a high majority, mostly males, may be a lot older than 17. Like some looking as if they possibly may be more like into their mid-20s, perhaps. But in order to get undocumented status, they are simply just lying about their age. And with partial language interpreters, and with no paperwork or documentation of any kind, apparently Border Patrol and immigration just take whatever story the immigrant comes up with why they are seeking to come to the U.S. It seems like. There's no explanation to this. This part is still unclear. Who the heck knows at this point, really? NBC News in the same article cited on March 25th, the senior Border Patrol official said roughly 6,000 immigrants were encountered at the southwest border, with many of those immigrants are being turned back into Mexico under an authority from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, enacted to combat the spread of COVID-19. But all unaccompanied children and some migrant families are staying in the U.S. The Biden team warned Trump administration of need of space for migrant children in December, NBC goes on to say. The increase in accompanied children and limited capacity of the Department of Health and Human Services to shelter them has created backlogs in border processing facilities. The senior Border Patrol official said on any given day, Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, could have over 9,000 immigrants in its custody. On March 25th, senior Biden administration officials said CBP is not testing migrants for COVID-19 inside those crowded facilities. Well, now I think that's definitely a policy that needs to change immediately. I mean, how do we expect to progress in the eradication of the virus with these counterintuitive, illogical rules and regulations throughout all forms of governmental programs and how they operate? The work to work together towards a message and set clear goals as a much needed restructuring of the inner workings of these government systems and programs, and it's long overdue. Thing's for certain, this all sounds like a recipe for disaster. With all the relaxing of masks and the increase of gatherings, coupled with the mass influx of immigrants, with Reuters reporting on April 17th, 2021, President Biden has the U.S. refugee cap at 15,000, a cap set under his predecessor, Donald Trump. He shelved the original plan, that is Biden, to raise it to 62,500, drawing criticism from refugee advocates and Democratic lawmakers. It goes on to say, quote, Biden pledged in February to increase the number of refugees admitted in the next fiscal year to 125,000, unquote. While CNN reported on March 31st, 2021, quote, the U.S. is on track to encounter more than 2 million migrants at the U.S.-Mexican border by the end of the fiscal year, according to internal government estimates reviewed by CNN, marking a record high. End quote. So, yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on right now. Things are getting crazy, and basically, this is my new video, and I hope everybody's doing it right out there, and just taking it one day at a time here, and that's what everybody should be doing. And we have a lot of news happening now. We have the ransomware attack on the pipeline, which is causing people to panic buy gas because they think the price is gonna go up a lot more, and it could definitely, it may go up a lot more if we have more issues like this, and it's specifically affecting the East Coast supply of gas, and so that's pretty scary. So I mentioned that I got the vaccine. My advice to everybody is to actually get the vaccine. Um, try to get. I got Moderna, um, but try to get the vaccine. This vaccine is a, it's what we need right now to deal with this major problem that has taken the whole world by storm, and just totally decimated like a lot of things very quickly, and changed a lot of realities and a lot of feelings on things, and the way we see things, and you know, and all these things are just happening, and so I think this, and I saw in 60 Minutes they were talking about the vaccine, um, and how this is going to be the key to future problems down the line, and other diseases and other viruses that come along. This is the key to, we're starting to see how this all works now, and we're going to be able to really help a lot of people in the future with different diseases and whatnot, through the technology with these vaccines. And so I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. For the most part, obviously you have control over some of that those happenings, but sometimes things have to just take place, and you gotta just wait it out, and once you get the vaccine, it's not like you still got to be careful, because they say after you get it, you could still contract it, or possibly shed it if you have it or whatever. But for I heard up to like six weeks or so after the second shot. So I'll be getting my second shot of very shortly, later on this month. I'll be getting it, and it'll be good to have, but like I said, until everything is clear, I'm not giving up the mask for a while after my second shot. I'm still being careful, not hanging out with a lot of people, just doing everything I can to protect myself, and the people around me, and the people I love, and the people I care about, and the people I have to work with, and everything, and on a daily basis. And so I've been talking to a couple people, just trying to get them to get this vaccine, because we're going to need this vaccine either way, no matter how you feel about vaccines or whatever. You're going to need it, to interact with society, and to be safe, and to have another shield of protection to back you up, to make sure you have that extra thing of protection on you. So get vaccinated. That's my message. And also the message is, with the immigration situation, we've been talking about that for years. The government's trying to figure that out. Well, it's coming to a boiling point now, and everything's getting kind of crazy. So it's time to start dealing with these issues. There's a lot on the plate, but might as well get it all done, because it's just, there's no point kicking the can down the road and whatnot. So anyway, I hope everybody's all right, and doing fine and all that, and just keep up. I know it's been a long year and some change here, year and a half almost, but we just got to keep it up and keep doing what we're doing, and because we all got to survive, and we got to figure out how we're gonna move on in this new normal, and we're learning every day how we're gonna do it. So stay safe, get vaccinated. That's the first step to getting where we need to go, and people need. And I do think there should be mandatory masks still and mandatory vaccinations. It would just make things a lot easier. And I know a lot of people say you can't force people to do things, but I think if it's in the interests of public health and world health and whatnot, then it needs to be done, because it's the only way we're going to get through this and get everybody on board and clear up this virus. So thanks for listening, and enjoy everything, enjoy your life, and enjoy every minute, hour, day, and have fun and do what you want, because you only have one life to live. So that's my advice, and I'm gonna my next video, I have some blatant corrections to get to that I've been meaning to get to. I'm gonna have to do that at some probably probably my next video. But so anyway, thanks for listening, and then we can clear the slate again and we can start over. I just want to say a quick thing. YouTube is a wonderful thing. I like it a lot. It's really cool. It allows me to express myself, and it's kind of like a therapy for me almost. And I've always wanted to start a YouTube, but for the last few years I've been talking about it and finally doing it. But it comes with responsibility, and so I'm hoping that I can continue to do things, and just to do my content in a responsible way, and I would urge others to do so also, and because this is a neighborhood or a community. It's not like Joe's community where Joe makes the rules. It's YouTube, and they're nice enough to have me aboard, and so I want to say thank you to YouTube, and thank you for everybody listening. And the concept of videos and allowing us to share this information is really cool. But so I don't take this lightly. I know this can influence people, and I'm hoping that I do this in a respectful and smart way. And but anyway, thanks for listening, and have a great day, and well, it's night right now, but have a great day, and a great one, and enjoy it, because it's a beautiful thing, and tomorrow is not promised. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and all that. I'm sure some would like to dislike, and I get that too. But so thanks for listening, and have a great one, and keep the faith, and as always, peace out.